Do you remember a couple nights ago when I said I've been better? Well, guess what? This is what being better feels like.
Yeah, well, we still got the advantage,
It's anybody's series.
but we are up in the series.
I mean, it's basically tied.
Yeah, but it's not.
It kind of is.
Okay, we won the first 2 games.
Yeah.
You won the third game,
Uh-huh.
which means that it's 2 games to 1.
That makes sense to me.
So we have the advantage in the series.
It's basically tied, though.
You might be the dumbest low qual in the house, honestly.
It's my most endearing quality.
I just beat Tampa in game 3, up 2-1. What do we think about that?
Tampa in 7.
Low quality fans, a high quality Bruins team that is a dub, the first dub of the campaign. 1 down, 15 to go. Oh, the power. Doesn't it feel so good? Doesn't it feel incredible? Nothing feels like a playoff win. It's a completely different feeling. And there's panic and there's just raw. By the end of the game, the last 5 minutes were, 6 months long. Holy shit, did that take forever. Scary, but we did it. We did it, and we got a win, and now the series just feels back on, right?
Now, I mean, I never lost hope. You guys know I haven't. You know how I watch these things.
But 2-1 is a hell of a lot different than 3-0, I'll tell you that much. A hell of a lot different. We held serve on our home ice. We got to do it again on Sunday. But shit, man, you got to feel good. And also, everyone say thank you to our lucky jersey. We didn't have a choice. We had to go with it. We had to go. We're calling it the Moog. I know it's a fashion jersey from the 90s, but we're just calling it the Moog. And it's the Moog, and it's phenomenal. Also, say thank you to Coyle, who I think changed the series. We're going to talk about him. And Forbort, who I'm not going to talk about a bunch, but needs to be mentioned as a monster on ice time tonight and had 9 blocked shots over 6 minutes on the penalty kill. He was a machine and deserves a ton of respect for what he did. He's absolutely one of the MVPs of the night, but he played a very quiet role that was straight up beastly. You love to see it. There's a lot to feel good about. Oh, there is. I'm going to point out something real quick. I'm going to gloss over later when talking about the game because I want to talk about the game. Joe Foley, I believe is his name, was hurt by a piece of glass, a panel of the glass falling down on him. He's sitting in the penalty box. Best wishes to him. I'm going to kind of gloss over it when we get there, but I wanted to say that now. Also, the Patreon is just going to turn into a GoFundMe for a new heart. Because I got to start going to the gym or something, man. I'm sweating. I'm yelling. I'm getting all crazy. The anxiety, the blood pressure, it ain't healthy. It ain't healthy, but I love it. And I'll sacrifice for my team. We are going to have dueling rookie goaltenders. Kochetkov is going to get his first NHL playoff start. Swayman, same, actually. Swayman has seen NHL playoff time a little bit, but he's never started a playoff game. This was a first for him, which is very exciting and panicky and scary. But the lines are going to get shaken up a little bit. We figured Freddie was going to get knocked out of the lineup because of a bad penalty and bad play. He got crushed last game. So Wagner is now going to take over as your fourth right wing, your fourth line right wing. Nosek is going to bump up to the Freddie spot on the third line on the left side. Also, Pasta back to the Bergeron line. We're knocking DeBrusk down. This was my worst fear, is we had to shake up the entire top 9 because they could not hold serve once we got to the playoffs. They could not be good enough. And I thought if we turned ourselves back into a one-line machine, we would be doomed to fail. Tonight, not so much. We'll see how it goes going forward, but tonight, not so much. Riley is going to slot back in next to McAvoy. Lindholm, obviously not doing great, although there was word that he was at the game, which is a good sign because that's a lot of screaming for a guy who probably just got a concussion. So you got to imagine he's not having very bad concussion symptoms if he's in that building. Johnny Busick Our banner captain of the night, gotta win one for Johnny, and we do. Carolina fans and Bruins fans really going at it right now on the social medias. Just a reminder to both fan bases, we both have absolutely terrible people that are part of our fan bases. We both do. They're a very small minority. They're very loud. Just remember that. This is supposed to be fun. Damn. Canes suck. Got him. They never saw it coming. Like, comment, subscribe. We have not had a lead against Carolina all year. Not a lead. Obviously not a win. And not a lead. Just want to remind everyone of that. Puck drops! And this was a classic game where as soon as I said negative things, mostly after the first, the opposite started happening. We're going to get there. 50 seconds in. It looks like they blew dead at 2-on-2, and I'm livid. But then they do the replay, and it shows that the 6 guys on the Bruins ice, like 6 guys off the... You know what I mean? Too many men. But they don't call it. They wave it off. They discuss it for a couple minutes. They wave it off. Now, I think they waved it off because Clifton, who was the other guy who was supposed to be changing, did not affect the play at all, did not pursue the puck, nothing. He was heading to the bench, even though he really wasn't. We got lucky not to get called for anything there. We haven't gotten a lot of breaks from the refs so far, so I'm definitely going to take that. 5 minutes in, Hall is going to get whacked with a high stick. Power play. We get one shot toward the net. It's a crossbar and out from Pasta. Technically, no shots on net. The power play still sucks, and I am dejected, especially because about 11 minutes left of the period, and once again, we are going to go down first. Once again, they're going to grab a lead, and it feels impossible to get the lead back. It's a failed clearance by Carlo up to DeBrusk. It goes past him, though. Carlo watches the puck while Trocheck is down by him, so Trocheck gets the first step. Carlo doesn't react soon enough, but there is going to be a puck sent in on the net from the point. It's Smith. That failed clear came up to him. DeBrusk couldn't get it. I'm explaining this so poorly. I'm just all over the place tonight. Smith is in that corner. He's going to throw it at the net. Carlo, down at the bottom here, who did not react soon enough. Trocheck gets the first step, gets in front of Swayman, blocked the shot. Swayman fully committed to that point shot, meaning he is now too far out. Trocheck, as he's falling, whips the puck past him into the open net. It's 1-0, midway through the first, and the building is silent for a moment. It's just, everyone in that building knows how important this game is. And that hurt. That hurt. We needed a response. About 7 minutes remaining. Martinick's going to go for hooking power play. We don't do anything with it, but here's the interesting thing. About 3 minutes left in the period, and it's going to be a penalty kill. Howla's going to go for tripping, drawn by Tony DeAngelo. If this had gone the other way, talk about the difference that just one bounce can make. We get a good bounce. It comes to Coyle and DeBrusk, who get to lead a 2-on-1 short-handed. Puck gets to DeBrusk, and it is a perfect sauce to Coyle, who has the tap-in, and it's 1-1, short-handed goal late in the first period. Completely changes the game, and I say, if we were to win on Sunday, if we tie this series, you can point at that short-handed goal and go, that changed this whole series. I really think that goal was that important. That important. Huge. It gave everyone a bunch more confidence. It was the first time it felt like we got an odd man rush in a long time. We got behind their defense, even if it was a good bounce. That gives the boys confidence. 1-1. And then to build momentum even more, they still have like 30 seconds, 40 seconds on the power play. And Swayman comes up huge with a couple of leg saves. Huge. And that prevents them from scoring 20 seconds after we just did to retake the lead. And that is another one of those moments. This game had 4 or 5 of them where it just changed the complete outlook of this series. Because this game was a must win. It really felt like that. Those moments changed this game. DeAngelo gets his stick knocked out of his hands by Marchand, 34 seconds left. I have been very vocal about this. I hate this rule. If you have soft hands and you drop your stick, tough titties, bud. Pick it up, get back in the play. Hate the, oh, he knocked the stick out of your hands rule. Same thing for when he flips it over your head. Why is that legal? Why can you get underneath and flip it up? Easier to hold on to. But flip it up and it goes flying, which Wags did to 2 guys tonight. Very fun. It goes flying, and then it's not going to get called. But if I go chop down on it, doesn't break the stick, but it knocks it out of your hands. I don't know, man. Do some grip exercises. Fuck. Grow a pair. We gotta kill it. We kill the 30 seconds. Go into the second period. And we make a massive kill for $130 to finish off that power play for them. If if we allow one there, it changes everything. And 5 minutes in, the Bruins put together a couple of good shifts. And it's the first time in this game that we've had a couple of good shifts in a row. And what's even more important, maybe, is who actually gets this one. It's a wrap around the wall from the Canes to try to clear. Marchand gets their first, intercepts, gives to Bergie in the bumper. Bergie takes a shot, blocked by a stick, goes high, lands. Marchand is there and appears to whiff on an initial shot. Whiffs it, recollects the puck. Kochetkov is coming out at him. He's around to swoop and flick it over Kochetkov, who's going low. 2-1. Marchand's back. Marchand feels great about that. You know he does. And it really did feel like it freed him up to be more confident and do a lot more. It really felt like that. And that is our first lead of the series, first lead of the season against the Carolina Hurricanes, who, with all due respect, can suck it. Directly after that, 7 minutes in, Clifton for cross-checking kills all of our vibes, man. Just killing vibes. 1 minute into the penalty kill. Marchand with a stupid play. He interferes with Tony D, who was getting under his skin a little bit. They're going to call him. But Tony D also brings his hand around, smacks Marchand. Marchand sells the call a little bit. I think we can all admit to that. And goes for offsetting. Both of them are going to go. Thank God that goes offsetting. That Tony D responds. Because had that not gone as offsetting, that's a 5-on-3 for a minute. And that gets scary, man. Right after this kill, Swayman's going to keep us in it. Remember, 2-1 lead, and we have just struggled to score against this team. We need to hold the lead. And Swayman, it's the puck is in front of him. It's 3 point-blank chances in a row. DeBrusk diving across the crease to try to make saves. He's blocking shots. Everyone's blocking shots. His scrambles. Swayman's finding the puck. He's reading the puck. He's getting his pads in front. The defensemen are doing everything they can to keep the puck out. And though it's frantic and though it's crazy, the team wasn't sitting there going, oh God, if we get scored on, we lose. It was not that feeling. It was, we are going to do everything we can to win this game. That's what it felt like. It didn't feel like, oh God. It felt like, fuck you. We are winning this one. This team is not going out with a whimper. We are fighting for this one. And it was a massive sequence. And I agree with a couple people in the chat. I believe Sam was the one who said this in Discord. That was the game's moment. That was the changing moment in the game to him. And I agree that was definitely one of them. Shortly after, Martin skates into Hall to kind of get a little, it's one of those sort of late hits, but close enough where it's kind of some legal interference there. Stuff that doesn't get called most games. I would kind of think that was a pretty soft call if it did. But Hall falls down with him. He kind of tries to wrap around him. They get tangled up. They fall. It looks like Hall falls right on the back of his legs. And Martinook, I do not believe, returned to this game. Someone correct me if that's wrong. I don't believe he returned. So best wishes to Martinook. Hoping he's not hurting for long. But that's massive. I mean, just players are dropping. Lindholm, Martinook, Ranta. People are struggling to stay on the ice right now. And whichever team wins this series, they're looking at it like, fuck, man, there's 3 more series to go. Really wishing for good health throughout the rest of this series. Really am. For both teams. 7:30 left in the period, up 2-1. Wags is going to absolutely destroy Stahl with a hit. Huge hit. I think it's getting under their skin because directly after that, Cole caves Lazar in front of the net. He's fighting for the space, and he cross-checks him. So they're going to call it interference. It looked like a cross-check. Who cares? That's 2 minutes, power play. And then on the next entry, because of course it gets cleared out, Marchand gets tripped up. We're going to have 1 minute and 30 seconds of 5v3. And I'm going to point out, because again, it's not everybody. It's not the whole fan base. But there are people on the Canes side on Twitter who are like, I guess the series was just too easy for the Canes, so the refs have to make it harder. A, that was definitely a trip. B, you had 3 5-on-3s in game 2. I don't know if you get to do the whole ref thing right now. I don't know if you get to. You can, but I don't know if you get to. This video is going way too long, but I can't help it. Here's the really scary thing about the 5-on-3. If we don't score on it, all the momentum, while we just have a 1-goal lead, shifts. And we don't. The 130 is killed off. And then the next 20 seconds, 25 seconds, dwindling. Hard to say that a bunch of times in a row. And you sit there and you get tense because you're worried that when we don't score on this, they're going right back to our side of the ice and they're going to plow over us. But as the seconds are ticking down, Marchand, bottom of the right circle, with again, perfect sauce across the slot to Pasta, who settles it, doesn't even one-time it, settles it and whips this blocker side on Kochetkov. That is 3-1, an insurance goal and a power play goal. How about those titties? Doing YouTube stuff, like, you gotta worry about, like, what's offensive and what's not, but, like, everyone likes titties. Everybody. There's not a soul on the planet that doesn't like titties. Directly after this goal is when the panel fell on Joe. Again, best wishes to him. There was a long pause, and it did feel like it reset the game a little bit. But I'm really proud about how this team reacted because they didn't let that cool them off. It takes 7 or 8 minutes, but 10 maybe, I'm not really sure, until we get back to playing, and they come right out again, and they're playing hot. It's about the 5-minute mark when they restart play, and around the 4-minute mark, Smith takes a big hit from Clifton. And this made me so angry. And again, I'm not a big blame the refs guy, but this was stupid. Big hit, Smith, play continues, by the way. Big hit, play continues. And Smith skates off, and he's bleeding, right? Looks like the visor cut him. I think he's okay. I think he is. He did stay in the game. So they blow the play dead once they realize he's bleeding and getting off the ice. If there's blood, you basically have to, like, stop play. And then, even though no call was made on the play, they then go back to call a major, review it, and drop it to a minor on Clifton for the hit. Bothered me for 2 reasons. One, I don't think it was a penalty. I think that was a good hockey hit, personally. 2, if you miss a call, you let it go all the time. Like, people miss calls all the time, and they're just like, oh, well, we missed it. Like, you could blatant stuff, and the play stops right after it. And people are like, what the fuck was that? You don't go back and just go, oh. And I know there is a rule built in where if you felt like you missed a major, you can go back and review it, which is what happened. And then they have to call the 2 minutes. But it's so fucking frustrating when you sit there and go, you saw massive hits through the past 2 games. Hits that left players on their ass. Hits that took players out of the season, their series. Maybe just a couple games. And nothing on those. Not even sort of a review. But this guy gets hit with what seemed to me a pretty clean hit, but happens to be hurt after it. And you immediately, oh, well, hold on. Let's call the major just to make sure we didn't miss anything. I don't want wrongfully placed penalties in our favor. I don't. That's not my complaint. But this was a bunch of fucking bullshit. That was awful. Awful. And I don't like getting angry about the refs, but that was some fucking bullshit. And even though we killed the penalty, you handed all the momentum back to them. We had a 2-goal lead. We were riding high. We were playing physical. And we do kill the penalty. It's massive to kill that penalty. But you still handed momentum back. And that frustrates me a lot. And I'm being selfish and biased and all that bullshit. But that was bad refereeing. Fuck off. That's awful refereeing. And if you want to tell me that is not a little bit like, well, we could call this. They're up by 2 goals, even this up a little bit. The refs do that, man. A team's down by a bunch, or the last team just got a power play goal. They want to call something pretty quick to even it out. We have proof of that. We know that. That doesn't stop in the playoffs. That doesn't. Sometimes it's going to work in your favor. Sometimes it's not. But that was bullshit. Third period starts. Remember, we're up 2 goals, but this is how poorly it's gone for the second line. Absolutely crushed. They're going to move Nosek up to the second. DeBrusk is going to drop down to the third left wing spot. DeBrusk has disappeared when he's not with Marchand and Bergeron. I think a few of us knew that was very likely, but he has completely disappeared in this one. I really hope he wakes it back up because we could really use him right now. 4 minutes in, Canes start hot. They're pressuring, but our second line, now with Nosek instead of DeBrusk, has their best shift of the game, in my opinion. And Nosek draws a tripping call. We're going to go to the power play, and it's another insurance goal. It's a puck retrieval by Marchand, first of all, which is huge. And Hall is there to help out on the right wall. Hall gets it at the bottom of the right circle, fakes the pass. Everyone kind of shifts, and then actually continues to pass to Pasta. It gets tipped, so it slows down before it gets to Pasta, which stops him from shooting. And he realizes that both defenders from the slot move towards him. One of them put his stick in front of the goal to prevent that, and the other one's reaching towards him, which gives him a perfect lane to pass right back to Hall, and Hall does a great job of settling his puck because it was a wobbler, and dunks it on Kochetkov. Never has a chance. 4-1. We are 5 minutes into the third, man, and we're up by 3 goals. Amazing. 5 minutes in, though. 5 minutes right after that goal. Foligno cross-checking on Smith. With the way they've been calling the game, that's a cross-checking call every time. Foligno has been... Our fourth line was pretty good tonight. But in the offensive zone, Foligno killed every sequence. Every single one. Defensively, he's been great. Neutral zone, he's been pretty good too. As soon as he has the puck, he chucks it to anywhere that we are not. Anywhere that we are not. Killing me right now. But defensively, again, very good. 8:30 left of the game. And this is going to be basically the last big thing about this game. Swayman lets in the worst shot that he has ever allowed in a Bruins sweater. It might be one of the worst shots he's ever allowed in his career. It was that bad. Now again, I'm not a goalie. So I'm sure there's some goalies who might get this far in the video, because it's a long one, who will have a different opinion. And I'd love to hear them. But Slavin, I mean, it's a turnover. It's a turnover by Smith. So that's one thing. But Slavin from the deep, deep left point just risked this on net. And yes, it looks like it potentially could have gotten tipped. It didn't get tipped, I don't think. But it looked like it could have gotten tipped by, I believe, Stahl. It just goes right past Sway, top glove. He whiffs it. Just whiffs it and goes in. 8:30 left. That made the last 8 minutes of this game heart-stopping. Because a 2-goal lead does not feel as good as a 3-1. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. 3-1? A 3-goal lead. You know what I mean. Anyway, he recovers with a couple good saves down the stretch. We are going to win this one 4-2. We do not score on the empty net. Who gives a crap? Game notes. Wags and Riley, massive roles. Massive roles in this one. They came in hot. I'm going to echo something I saw Andrew from the Short Shift Pod saying. I do not know how long Wags or Riley can stay in a series like this, but I do know that they were pivotal in winning this game. And with that being said, advanced analytics are going to point out that some of these guys, some of these lines got smoked, right? Got really crushed. Every line played a role in this one. And whether that role was to score goals or put pressure on their side of the ice, to forecheck hard to create turnovers, to play great neutral zone and defensive zone defense, like everyone had their own roles in this one. And so yes, not all of the scoring chances for versus scoring chances against are going to favor every guy out there. But even the guys who got crushed on that kind of metric played a pivotal role in other areas that allowed us to win this game. And I want to point that out because sometimes people look at scoring chances for versus allowed and just, that's the whole story. It's not. Advanced analytics are a tool. And there's a lot of different analytics that you have to put together to really get the full story of something. Also, watching the game helps. I already mentioned the Foligno thing that's pissing me off. Again, defensively, he was tremendous, and he did a lot of stuff really, really well there. But shit, man, in the offensive zone, when he has a 50-50 choice, he always chooses the wrong one somehow. It's incredible. I am so proud of this team. The response tonight was massive. A huge part of it, though, was getting the Bergeron line away from the Stahl line. Because we got that second change. And that made that much of a difference, guys. It made that much of a difference. Stahl line smoked the second line for most of the game. Spent a little time on the third line. Just crushed them when they were out there. They're so hard to play against. But the top line, we got to protect. We got to put them against the Aho line, and they outplayed them. Our best beat their best. Massive. Alright guys, that does it for me. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm sorry if this ends up being 25, maybe 30 minutes of video. I'm just so pumped. I'm so excited. I'm so pumped. But thank you so much for watching. We got another game Sunday, 12:30, I believe. A matinee playoff game Not sure how much I love it, but at least I'll get some sleep for work on Monday. I don't know. Good enough, I guess, right? Go Bees!